Hello everyone! Yesterday I made a video about the new storage limits that are taking effect on December 1st for the free and the pro version of ClassIn. Well, since I made that video just yesterday, I've had a ton of teachers asking me about the business version and if there's going to be any changes and what those changes will be and when they will take effect. I wasn't planning on making this video today, but because of all these questions I'm getting, I realized I need to get this video out there. Otherwise, I'm going to keep getting these questions from teachers and they're going to want to know the answers. And I understand because I wanted to know the information as well. So this information is not anywhere else. You can't find it on the ClassIn website. This information I received directly from staff at ClassIn. Once the teachers with Free and Pro started getting that pop-up about changes to their storage, I wanted to know, what about business, as I'm sure everybody was wondering. So I asked tons of questions. I wanted to make sure I had accurate information so I could give that information to you. I don't know if they're going to have any type of pop-up before this takes effect, so that's why I'm making this video to explain it. And I made a separate video than Free and Pro because there are some major differences and it's a little bit more complicated. So I wanted to make a separate video for that. So here we go. If you have one of the business versions, and I know some teachers are still a little confused about those versions that are available, there are 3 business versions. These are what I call them. So the first one I would call the subscription, okay? That's the one where you paid $300 for the year, or I think it was, I can't remember what the 6-month was, if it was exactly half or not. But anyway, it was either 6 months or 1 year. If it was your first time and you used one of those referral codes, you got the 20% off. That is the subscription. It is still a business version of ClassIn. The second type of business version is what I call the consumption, if I can spell, the consumption model of the business version. That's one where you still paid $300 up front, unless you had the discount, and then it deducts each class as you go until you run out of your credits. It equal to 2,000 RMB. So each class, it would deduct from that 2,000 RMB, and then once you get to 0, then you would have to pay again. So a little bit different than the subscription, but both of these are business versions. And then there's a third one that most of us don't have unless you have a lot of teachers that work for you or you're a school, which we call the school version. The school version is basically the same as the consumption. The only difference is you can add teachers. So like with the consumption and subscription, it's only 1 teacher per account. I can't add teachers to work for me and have them added to my account. With the school, you can add teachers to your account, but it's also a lot more that you have to pay up front. Consumption, you pay about $300 up front and deduct. The school, I can't remember. It's like 1,000 or something. I don't know. It's a lot more expensive because you have lots of teachers and it's a bigger subscription or bigger model. So all 3 of these are considered business versions of ClassIn. So I know that can be a little confusing because they're all slightly different. So how are the storage limits going to affect the business version? It will be changing in 2024. So the free and pro starts December 1st. The business version changes are starting in 2024, but it's going to be different for everybody. And I'm going to explain what that means. So first, what is going to be the limit? With the free, it's 5 gigabytes. With the Pro, it's 10 gigabytes. With all of the business versions, your limit is going to be 50 gigabytes. So you do have a larger storage limit. And as you can see over here, this is my current storage. So if you go to your drive and you look down here, you can see what storage you have currently. And then if you click on the details, you can see a breakdown of everything that's included in that storage. And you may have watched my free and pro version of this. I'm going to go through each of these things again. The first 3 are the same as free and pro. The one that's going to be a little different for business is going to be the monitor and record. So once I start going through these, if you already watched the other video, you can kind of fast forward through the first 3. But if you didn't watch that video, make sure you watch everything that's included in your storage. Okay. Um, Before I go into that, I'm going to talk about when this is going to take effect. Like I said, Free and Pro starts December 1st, 2023, which is less than a month away. For the business, it starts in 2024, but it starts when your contract renews. Okay, so here, let's get into the details. Subscription, your contract renews either at 6 months or 1 year. For consumption, even though you have that money that deducts, it does not mean that's when your contract ends. Your contract doesn't end when your money runs out. You still have a 1 year contract. Even if you still have money remaining, you still have a 1 year contract. And the school, I believe, I've never looked at it because I don't have the school plan, but it's most likely going to be a 1 year contract as well. So subscription is either going to be 6 months or 1 year, depending on the subscription you have. Consumption is a 1 year contract, school is 1 year contract. So how do you know when your contract renews? Well, let's take a look. For that, you will go to, oops, not this one. You will go to your dashboard. So you log in to your account on ClassIn.com, and this is your dashboard. I hope everybody is familiar with this. It is super, super important. So you will see when you first log in, your balance up here. This is really only important for the consumption and school account because you have to monitor your account balance. Subscription, you don't have a deduction per class. It's just 6 months or 1 year. But you'll see my version here is business. And right here, it's really small. I'll try to zoom in when I make this video, but it says service period 2. This is when your contract expires. So you can see my next contract needs to be renewed. It expires, it needs to be renewed 6/3 of 2024. So for me, when will the 50 gigabytes start? It will start with my new contract, which is 3/2024. So I still have, right now it's November 8th, 2023, I still have some time, about 7 months, before I have to worry about the 50 gigabytes taking effect. But I only have 9.54 gigabytes being used, so I know I have enough space anyway. But it's important to know in case that number starts to increase and I get closer to that 50 gigabytes. So what does that mean for you? That means you need to go to your account, look at what your service period is. Oh, it's 6/3. Is that what I said? Yep, 6/3. So again, starts in 2024. So what does that mean? If your contract expires 1/1/2024, I believe that means your 50 gigabyte limit is going to start on 1/1/2024. Let's say your contract doesn't expire until 12/1/2024. That means your 50 gigabyte limit is going to take effect and start on 12/1/2024. So you are lucky. So the later your contract renews in 2024, the more time you have before the 50 gigabyte limit is going to start. So that's the first thing I would do is go to the website, check your account, see when your contract is going to expire and you're going to renew it, and then you will know when this limit is going to take effect. Okay, now that I got all those new details out of the way, now we're going to go into what is a part of your storage. So again, if you've already watched my other video, you can kind of skip until I get to the monitor and record part. Otherwise, make sure you're listening, okay? So here we go. First is the easy one, my drive. For most of you, that's going to be the largest part of your storage. The My Drive is exactly what it says. So let me go back to my thing here. Okay, here we go. So when I go to Drive, everything I have in my Drive, all PowerPoints, PDFs, images, videos, all of that stuff counts towards your storage because you're holding it in the ClassIn storage. So that would be your first number. If you have a large number, again, you have 50 gigabytes when this takes effect, but if you're somebody who stores all of your curriculum, you might be getting higher than that 50 gigabytes. So what I personally do, and I've done this since I started with ClassIn, is I do not store my curriculum in ClassIn. I keep it on my hard drive on my computer. You can store it on a hard drive or like Google Drive, OneDrive, and then I make folders for each day. So like today was Wednesday, and then the students I teach on that day, I put all of their curriculum just for that day. So for example, yesterday I was preparing for my Wednesday class. I opened my curriculum on my computer, then I opened my drive on ClassIn, and then I simply drag everything that I need just for that day into ClassIn. And then when the day is over, I can simply click either on everything or just the ones I want to delete. And I'm actually done for today, so I'm clicking on that, and then I just click delete. And I know I already have this saved on my computer, so I'm just saving space on ClassIn. So that's what I do to help me save space, and that is why you can see here I only have 2.16 gigabytes used in my drive because I don't keep a lot in there. So if you have a very high number in your drive, you might need to be thinking about ways to reduce the storage there by saving it somewhere else on your computer and just moving it over when you need it. And then it shows me that I have 23% of my storage is used in my drive. Then we have number 2, the class files. This one, I actually have the most in this one, but you probably won't unless you use the files as well. So what are the class files? Let me go back here. So the class files would be in your classrooms that you've created. So I'm just going to go to Justin's because I know he has stuff. And then at the top where you have chat, course, lessons, grades, and files, there you go. These are the class files. So here is where it's kind of like a shared drive for you and your student. So anything I put in this file, the student can then, on their side, they have the same tabs at the top, they can then go to the files and they can see everything that I've uploaded. And they can actually upload stuff as well, and we can both see them. So anything that I have in here is a part of that storage. As you can see, this is why I have such a high number, because I've been using this to share files with my students. So if you have this and you use a ton of space, again, you might want to be thinking about alternatives, not using the files. What I recommended in the other video was possibly making a class, a special class for each student if you do this, if you share files, and instead of putting it in the files tab, putting them in the chat. So for example, for Justin, I could title my classroom Justin Files, create the class, and then instead of using the files, I could just upload anything into this chat. Of course, it's not as organized. The student would have to scroll up and find everything, but you don't get charged storage for anything in the chat. You only get charged if it's in the files. So that is an option, or of course, just sending it to them in WeChat, or putting it in the files and telling them to download, and then you can delete them. So just keep in mind that does count towards your storage. Okay, so let's go to the next one. The next one are the attachments. And you can see I don't have a very big number here either, and I'll tell you why I keep that number low. So the attachments are anything that you put. Let me go back to Justin here. Where's Justin? Here we go. Anything that you attach in the course tab. So I use this for homework. Oh, why is it not coming? Here we go. So I use this to assign homework because it's very nicely organized. And for this student, you can see I have tons and tons of units that I've created. I create 1 unit per class. For all of my other students, I delete after each class. But with Justin, his mom really wanted everything saved so she can go back and look at it. But now I found out this is going to be counting towards my storage. I'm probably going to have to tell her I'm going to have to delete these, because anything that I attach in tasks or in the resources, so if you click here, so task, the resources, discussion, anything that you attach, whether it's videos, pictures, PowerPoint, PDF, anything that you put in here is going to count towards your storage. So for example, here I have the preview that I sent, and there is, come on, I have a video, I believe. Yep, so there's a video here. So this video is counting towards that storage if I keep it saved. So what I told you I do with my other students, so if I go to, let's go to Helen. Where did you go, Helen? So Helen, you can see here under her courses, I only have one unit. This was her last class and her homework. She hasn't done it yet, so what I would do is in her next class, which is on the 11th, after I check her homework, we review it in class, then I would simply delete it. I would just go to these three dots here and click delete. Now every attachment, every picture, whatever's in there will be deleted and will not count towards my storage. So I recommend doing that. If you like using the courses, just delete it after you are done checking their homework. Or another option again is to just put their homework in their chat, so you're not being charged for storage there. All right, so hopefully I'm not going too fast. So that's the first three. These three are the exact same as free and pro. The last one is the one that's a little tricky, and I always dread explaining this because it can be a little confusing. It's the monitor and record. So record is pretty easy. If you use the cloud recording, so not this little camera here, this is manual recording, which you don't get charged for because it saves to your computer unless you upload it into the files or upload it into the course. This is the cloud recording, the one where it's saved into ClassIn. Let me go to it just in case you're not sure what it is. So if I go to calendar, I can see the playback here. So I have access to the recording and the student has access to the recording. So that is what they are included in the monitor and record. Okay, the monitor. What does monitor mean? Monitor are the monitoring pictures. So if you don't know what that is, if you ever have gone to the teaching report, I'm going to click on my student from today. So if you scroll down, you will notice the highlights, not class notes. Class notes are the ones that I take a picture of in the classroom. Here we have the highlights. So you will notice there are 27 pictures. I did not take these pictures. ClassIn took these pictures. They are automatically done. I have not found a way to turn that off. So unlike recordings where you can choose if you want to record, these are done automatically. So this is included in the storage as well. Okay, so let's go back here. So putting those two together, the monitoring pictures and the recording, also uses up storage space, and you can see mine is very low. Okay, now I'm going to go into where it gets a little tricky. If you have the consumption, hopefully you've already gone through the process of setting up the monitor and record to delete at 3 months, because you have free storage for 3 months. Okay, if you set it to automatically delete, you don't have to worry about anything. The subscription should have already been set up for you. You do not get charged for recordings, and you also don't have to worry about the setting up the 3 months. It should be already set to delete at 3 months. But remember, you probably used ClassIn before you upgraded to subscription and consumption. And even if you were using the free version before, you obviously didn't have any recordings because that was not included in free, but ClassIn was still saving those monitor pictures, even when you were using the free version. Of course, you weren't being charged for them, but they're still being stored. So if you have not done this already, so you can see here, I have a very small number. If you have a very large number here, that most likely means ClassIn still has all of those monitoring pictures from before you used the business version. Okay, so let's take a look at what you can do to reduce this number if this is a problem for you, if that number is very high. So I'm going to go back to the website, okay? So first, you can also see your the storage here. I'm going to go to storage and overview. This is basically the same thing that shows up when you click on My Drive. So it shows you my total used here, and it breaks down between the courseware, which is just the My Drive. You have the monitor and record, class file, and attachments. This is interesting. I actually found this out just today, which is actually really nice. When I look at monitor and record, it shows used, and then it shows not included in storage, last 3 months. So that means those free 3 months that you have to store is not included in your storage, which is great. That would be kind of unfair. It's like, hey, you get free storage, but it takes away from your storage total. So I really have 15 gigabytes saved right now in monitor and record pictures and videos, but it's not included in my storage total. So I really have no idea what is left, what this 582.81 megabytes. I shouldn't have anything else saved, but some reason there's still a number there. So this is what you can do to make sure you don't have any old storage from before you had the business version. So what you want to do, and you can do this with any of the business models, because you don't want anything prior to having the business version saved, because that's going to take up your space, because that is included in your storage. So what you're going to do is go to, now I forgot where to go. Let's see. Oh, I go to monitor and record, I believe. Okay, yes. So first go under storage, monitor and record. This is where all of your videos, which I can see here, and all of your pictures, which you can see how many pictures it takes per class, 29, 31, and the file size. If you look in the top right, it's going to talk about what storage you have. Do not ask me what all these numbers mean. I don't understand it. All I know is I'm not being charged for pictures or video. So what you want to do is go to Set Automatic Deletion. Okay, so I can go here, click on Set Automatic Deletion. And they actually recently updated this, which is really nice. They added some more things, so definitely check this out. So first of all, you want to make sure you have it to automatically delete 3 months, for 3 months. So here I already have monitor and record, automatically delete for 3 months. And I also have my monitoring pictures to automatically delete every 3 months. So what does that mean? If I set this, turn this on, and they're showing an example here, on November 11th, it's good for 3 months prior. So anything from August 11th will be deleted. That means November 12th, August 12th will be deleted. November 13th, August 13th will be deleted. But anything that's prior to that 3 months is not included. So if you haven't already deleted old stuff, it's still going to be there. Once you turn this on, it only works for things 3 months prior, not before the 3 months. This is new since now we have those attachments, and this is something that will help you with your storage. If you don't want to delete them manually like I showed you, you can set up a deletion task. So here, attachments, auto delete attachments of recorded lessons. So what is that? That would be, if I go back to the course and I go to recorded lesson, which I don't know many teachers that use this, but if you upload anything in this recorded lesson, you can set it to delete every one. Here, I'll click on it so you can see. You can set it every 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way up to 12. So let's say you have something in there, you just want it to delete after 1 month. That way you'll still have the storage will still be used for that 1 month while it's in there, but once it deletes automatically, it will be removed from your storage. So that's an option for you as well. And they have that for every single type of thing that charges your storage. So here's task. So if you do task attachments, you can set that to delete automatically. Answer sheet attachments, discussion attachments, resource attachments, and recurring assignment attachments. And then same thing with the class files. That files tab I told you about, you can set that to auto delete after 1 or more months. So that's an option if you want to still use those, but you don't want them to stay there to use up your storage space for too long. Okay, so what do you do about anything that's prior to the 3 months then? For this, you would create a deletion task. That's right here. So what I would do, even if you've already done this before, which I'm going to do myself right now, just in case, is I'm going to set a deletion task. Since I know I'm already set to delete every 3 months, I'm going to set my end time. Okay, my end time is going to be 3 months from today. So today, or prior to today, sorry. So today is November 8th, 2023. So 3 months prior to today would be August 8th, 2023. So I'm going to go back 3 months. I'm going to choose August 8th. Start time. I'm going to leave this blank. It says if start time is not selected, all contents before the end time will be deleted. So I know everything from August 8th and before everything, that means any task attachments, any recording, of course I have to select those, everything I select will be deleted. So I won't have to worry about anything being stored that I don't want because the 3 months are free. Anything before will count towards your storage. So I'm going to set it to, I'm not going to delete anything, my tasks, because I need to go back and see if I need to keep anything. So I'm going to choose just class recording. And where is monitoring pictures? Okay, I don't want to delete everything else because I want to go in and see what I want to actually get rid of or keep. So I'm going to set it starting 3 months prior to today. And now everything before that will be deleted. Class recording, monitoring pictures. Okay. And it says it does take up to 24 hours for this to be effective. Okay, so now if I click on View Historical Tasks, it should show me that it's going to delete everything from 3 months from prior to today. And it looks like 12/31/2013. Well, I know I was not teaching on ClassIn in 2013, so that should easily delete anything that I don't want. And I can cancel this task, but I don't want to do that. So now I should be clear. Anything that is monitoring pictures or anything that are recordings on the cloud are going to be gone, and only those free 3 months will continue to stay. And then it will automatically delete every day because I have that set. Okay. I hope that was not confusing because it does sound confusing. So all those 4 things that we just went through all together are going to give you your storage space, which like you see here, I'm under 10, so 50 gigabytes is more than enough for me. But I know there are teachers out there that might already have more than 50 gigabytes on their storage. So what do you do? Well, think about ways to reduce the storage, make sure you have everything deleted that needs to be deleted, and think about how you can put your lessons, your curriculum, into the drive only when you need to use it. So what happens if, let's say, on the date that this new limit begins, you have more than 50 gigabytes? What happens? Well, ClassIn is not going to delete anything that you have in there. You will still continue to be able to use anything that you have over 50 gigabytes, but you just won't be able to add any more. So you'd have to delete stuff before you could add anything new. So don't worry about anything disappearing. I was also told that there will be a way for you to purchase storage space. You might think, well, I really want to use everything in ClassIn. I don't want to have to do the back and forth with my curriculum. There will be a way to purchase storage space. And I did ask the details. I don't have all the details on this yet because I just got this today. But I was told that it will be, if you want to do it per month, it would be 3 RMB, that's the Chinese yuan, which is about right now 41 cents per gigabyte per month. So if you do the math, you kind of think how much that's going to cost you if you want to add 10 gigabytes. It's going to continue to go up, how much you're going to have to pay per month to have that storage. I was also told that they will have an option for a fixed annual storage, kind of like a subscription, but I don't have the details for that, unfortunately. So, of course, just like with any type of subscription, the more you purchase, the better deal it's going to be. It's obviously not cheaper, but it's a better deal. Um, so you're going to be saving money rather than paying per gigabyte. It's going to be less per gigabyte. But again, I don't know what those numbers are going to be right now. So hopefully they will share all that information very soon. So let's go back and recap. So what I said in the beginning. So starting the date that your contract expires, the current one expires, and you have to renew it for a new contract in 2024 is when the new limit for 50 gigabytes will begin. Again, I don't know if they're going to have any type of pop-up before then, but I wanted to know this information for myself. And of course, I think it's important for everybody to be prepared in case they do need to make some changes before this takes effect. So if your contract is good, if you just signed a new one and you're good to like October, November, December 2024, you are lucky. You have plenty of time to prepare for this. But if your contract renews at the beginning of 2024, you don't have as much time. So make sure you look at all this information that I showed you, prepare, think about what you want to do so you're not stuck with a maxed out storage when it's time for this to take effect. So hopefully I didn't confuse anybody, but if you have any questions, something I missed that you want to know, let me know. I will try to find the information if I don't know it myself. Bye, everyone.